Okay, welcome to the Halal Fantasy Football League. This is going to be a quick one because we're out in Alaska. Let me get the screen recording going. Oh, it is going. Okay. Just like before, we have a drink count. So I am drinking something called a baked Alaska. All I know is like vanilla, vodka, some raspberry juice. I don't know. Baked Alaska, because we're in Alaska, right? So this was week 1. A lot of information came out. Game 1 was the Rams versus Bills. The Bills destroyed the Rams. So, kind of a hangover from winning the Super Bowl. And I got some inkling of some issues by my quarterback, Matthew Stafford, only giving me 4 points. That was just the first inkling of something wrong with the scoring system. Sunday comes around. We were able to, actually, that game, that Thursday night football game, we were able to watch from the airplane, so that was kind of cool. Sunday, we were leaving on this cruise ship, and they had on the big screen in the theater, they had the Bengals versus Steelers game, and that was a really good game. It was really tight, close, and wild. It's kind of cool to be able to see it in the theater. And then Monday Night Football was last night, and that was also a wild game with Russell Wilson returning to Seattle. And with him in Seattle, him being the enemy, and they came up short by missing a field goal. One of the things that was notable for everybody was that the quarterback points were kind of sad. So we saw an issue with the defense early. We fixed that. So now the defense at least looks respectable. But for some reason, the quarterbacks weren't good. And I'll show you what the issue was. If you go to League, I go to Tools, I go to Commissioner Tools, and League Roster and Scoring settings. What's missing is the passing yardage. So usually we have these 25 points. 25 yards is equal to a point, but we did not have that this round, and that's the reason why the quarterbacks. So the plan is to reinstate it. The only difference is week 1, I'm gonna lock the scores as they are. So if you won, you lost, or you drew, that's what it is. I'm gonna have to do like point adjustments just to get the original scores back up, because I know it's gonna change once I incorporate the passing yards. The reason why it's locked is because at the time that the points were projected and you made a decision who to start, it was based on these rules with no passing yards. So we got to keep the rules the same for this week, and it's going to change next week. All right, so that was that's the scoring system then. All right, so let's do quick recaps of the games. My internet is really bad, so I'm doing it from my phone, so at least we can look at the scores. I'm not going to talk a whole long bit on them. Gary beat Brad 99 to 84.5, both lower than the projections. Anything outstanding? Brad's leading scorer was Joe Mixon with 20.7. Gary's leading scorer was AJ Dillon with 18.6. So that's kind of a surprise, him being the number 2 back. Okay. And then the next score, we have Aaron, who beat Morgan. Morgan actually did pretty good based on the scores this week. I think his only mistake was starting Sutton, 9.2 points over Jerry Jeudy. Same team. Jerry Judy's younger. He had 18.2. And then Aaron, he's the guy who gave second chances. So Patrick Mahomes had a kind of a down year last year. Saquon Barkley hasn't been good because of injuries. Clyde Edwards-Helaire has been a disappointment, but look at their scores. Michael Thomas is coming back from injury. All of these guys showed out, helping Aaron to get the number one points of the week. And on top of that, he had Justin Jefferson, who scored the highest, 34.9. Okay, so next up, Mike B versus Mike L. Mike B's highest score was Kareem Hunt, 22.1, even though Chubb is on that team. Mike L's highest score was Travis Kelce, 22.1, so that's kind of status quo as Kelce, the number one TE. Mike L takes that one. Then there is Darren versus Jeremy. So Darren had a disappointing showing out from Cam Akers, who only had 0.3, so it looks like Henderson's going to be the guy, at least for now. And then Knox only had 1 point, so kind of disappointing. Cooper Kupp did well for him. He's the number one receiver off the board this year, well deserved. But at the same time, Jeremy, who was on auto pick, got nailed all these receivers. Devontae Adams, 25.1. Stephon Diggs, 22.2. Cordero Patterson, he's a running back, 23.3. Michael Pittman, 22.6. I mean, I guess Patterson is kind of a receiver too. But yeah, when everybody went heavy with the running backs, auto pick gave Jeremy all these receivers, and Jeremy had the second highest score of the week. And I think we go to the last matchup, me versus Eric. We had a draw, 106.5. Very, very rare how that happens. My highest score was DeAndre Swift, 26.5, and Eric's highest score was his kicker, Young Hae-Koo, 21.1, who had several 50-yarders. That made us draw on this day. So anyways, that's the recap for the week, and we're keeping it brief because we have issues with the internet, and I'm limited with my editing computer of the videos, so it's going to be a little bit low res, but at least we have a nice spot, and we are consistent. So we'll be back next week. Alright, bye.